Aloha, everyone. Aloha, awina la. It's afternoon. Thank you for being here. I'm calling to order our Committee on the Status of Women, Maui County, November 19th, 2024 meeting. Thank you all for being here. If you could, Corey, could you do roll call for me, please?
Yes, Chair. Chair Davidson?
I am here present in my office alone. Thank you.
Thank you. And members, if you would please identify where your location is and if there's anybody with you, we greatly appreciate that. Member Neese, Vice Chair Neese? Don't see her at this time. Member Amore is excused. Member Baltazar?
I'm here in my home by myself.
Mahalo. Member Espanola?
Aloha, in my office alone by
Mahalo.
myself.
Thank you. Member Harrelson is excused, Chair. And Member Davy Smith.
Aloha, I'm at home. My husband's in the next room.
Thank you. Chair, you have and then we also have our ex officio, Ms. Stacy Moniz, with us here today. Aloha, Ms. Moniz.
Aloha, thank you. Aloha, everyone.
Okay, Chair, you have quorum for today's meeting. I also have Deputy Corporation Counsel Selena Panel with us today. Deputy, is there anybody with you? Chair, I'm Corey Bissen, your staff secretary. I am at my home office and there's nobody with me. You are ready for your meeting.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Corey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do we have any testimony? I couldn't open that testimony if there was testimony.
Chair, I did not have anybody indicate via our chat or raising or by raising their hands that they were interested in testifying on any of our items. We can do another call for that if you'd like.
Okay. I just see that Member Moniz was saying that she didn't say that she was at home. She had a chatting. I lost the chat.
Yes, I did not hear her. She waved her hand.
Yeah, she did. Present. She did. How do I get to that? Oh, there's the chat. Okay. She just said that she has, she's at her home office and alone. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Do we have any testimony, any testifiers here today that would like to testify on any of our agenda items?
Okay. Chair, I see no one indicating so.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's go on to our state report from Stacy Moniz. Thank you, Stacy.
Aloha, thank you again. I'm excited to share that the Hawaii State Commission on the Status of Women has hired our executive director. She'll be starting on December 6th, but she's already in the flow. She's kind of jumping right in there. Her name is Lasmeen. It's pronounced Yasmin, but it's Lla. Oh gosh, I got to double check what the spelling is. I'm so sorry. It's pronounced Yasmin, but it's 2 L's, Asmine. And her last name is Chain. She has been working in the sex assault field for the last 7 or 8 years and brings a lot of great community organizing and legislative background with her. Part of the exciting new opportunities is that we've learned during this process of hiring a new executive director that perhaps one of the first pieces of business will be to see whether or not the Commission on the Status of Women truly belongs in the State Department of Human Services to begin with. It used to be a cabinet position coming under the governor's office directly, and I think we'd like to see it return there because many of the issues that women face fall under the Department of Human Services, things like benefits and food stamps, SNAP, Quest, Child Protective Services, many of those things that women might struggle with. So anyway, it's been a great process. We learned a lot. We also feel very excited to welcome our new director. We have not got a date set for our next commission meeting, but I will let you know should that happen.
Yay! We'd like to connect with her as soon as possible, Stacey.
Right?
That'd be
Yeah, it's on
awesome.
the list. It was a very cumbersome
Yay.
process, as you all know. You heard from even the Kauai Commission. Like, there's so much that this is a leadership position, so it's been hard
Yeah.
not to have somebody there. So she's got a big job to fulfill, but we have total confidence. It was a unanimous choice. She was wonderful from
Thank
her
you.
resume
Thank you
to
for.
her interview.
Yay!
We're
Awesome. I
excited.
look forward to for us and maybe in January if we can invite her to say hi to us on this meeting.
I will
That'd be wonderful
extend
for
the
her to connect
invitation.
to us, all of us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you
Okay,
too.
wonderful. That's wonderful news. Thank you so much for that. I know there was such a process, so
Yeah, long
excellent.
time
Thank
coming.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Stacy? Requests? I just made the request. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, let's go on to our next item 4, old business. If there's anyone who has any testimony regarding for A, B, or C, please let us know at this time. Okay, hearing none. Let's go on to our planning and budgetary requests. Okay, Corey, besides my not submitting it in a timely manner.
Yeah, Chair, give me just a sec and I'm going to
Okay.
bring that up.
Okay.
It really is, if these are the holes, I think people wanted to review it and the priorities and the amount of money.
Yeah. I have a simpler one on my, but I would like to see what everyone else submitted.
I have not received anything,
Oh.
Chair.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to just start with yours, Chair?
Yes, I do want to start with mine. Okay.
Sounds
So if we look at does everybody have the attachment that Corey sent with our agenda?
It was provided in October, so
Yes.
you should still have it.
Yes, and I believe you also put it into this.
I did.
Yeah, you did a link.
Yes, ma'am.
Corey put it in the link. Very efficient. Thank you. Okay, so what I would like to let me go to mine. Under our community outreach events, I would like to propose that we, the Committee on the Status of Women, assist in sponsoring a women's conference. So we held a women's conference last July, and it was very cumbersome to our team because of the many layers of approvals that need to happen and the certain things that can or cannot be done in like the planning of it, because we cannot have quorum. So it means that we are lacking in assistance or support in really driving something forward without help. So I would like to propose that a women's conference be held in July, late July, around the 25th or 26th. It will still be a women's conference, a women's health conference, as this was very successful in our last attempt. We had 100 people sign up in 2 days. That's how, like, I think necessary it is for us to be in that space, or to offer that. And we actually had people flying in from Oahu and from Hilo, from Hawaii Island, to attend. So I think this is something that we could sponsor. My proposal is to sponsor the venue, help in sponsoring a venue. Venues are very expensive, but for our I just did 6 events at the Hyatt this past week, and the Hyatt lessened the cost a lot because it was for our people. So I think that I would like to propose a $6,000 budget. Under community outreach events, our current, our last year's budget was $5,000. That was split up into domestic violence and bags and one more. But I would, if that is something that you could all get behind, my sense is that if we stay in that space with working with our nonprofits, as we did in July, and really having several of those nonprofits lead this charge, I believe we would be able to organize not only just I have a global organization that already wants to jump on and support this. So any thoughts on that? Well, let me add, let me add one more thing. One more thing. The reason why I want it at the end of July is so that it connects to August 8th, which is the wildfires. Because there's going to be another commemoration on August 8th. So I'm hoping that they come together just like we did the last year. Sorry. Member Españolo, go ahead.
My thought just ran away. So how does it, so our budgeting, if it's 6,000,
for that particular.
Yes. So the honorary, we're having honors, our last, not our honorary. What were we having that the women's honoring the women? Is that the same year? So do we have enough funds for that? I mean, I'm not sure how much we allocated for that.
Corey would know that. I think that women.
That is, I think that's relatively
small, yeah.
Yes, only because it's hosted inside the mayor's conference room, so you don't have to worry about a venue. It's part of a meeting with members.
Okay.
And then, so I think the greatest cost is going to be a press release, but we'll do that through the office of the mayor.
Okay.
An announcement. My notes, and you should have seen that in your own materials, was the cost for a previous one.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need anything more than, honestly, $1,000 chair for that.
Is that okay? Is that under the outreach or was that under women's advocacy?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't know from previous. I was
Okay.
not,
Okay, I was
So-
thinking it was under women's advocacy.
but it doesn't mean that you can't.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right.
yeah, because I have that under the women's advocacy.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Any
maybe
other
instead of
discussion?
services, we just take off women's advocacy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Yeah.
what you're saying is we want to put 6,000 towards community outreach
Mhm.
and
Yes.
not but it would would we not be doing like, the tote bag giveaway, be going more up towards
No.
doing a sponsoring an event?
Yeah.
yes.
Or okay, so we would be getting rid of the tote bag giveaway, that part, the survey, and then putting it all towards on help. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the survey was already done.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Chair, do you need to put money in for reprinting? I'm sorry, I don't know what the status is on the resource guide and how many you have. It could be as low as, $200 added into for a reprint.
Mm-hmm. The reprint, like how successful were we on giving away those, we can definitely put money into that.
Yeah, it would just be to,
Yes.
whatever makana is offered at the event, the Women's Health Conference, it would be something you could add to the bag, put in there.
Okay, that makes sense. We, the thing that I used to at the events that I just did was QR codes. People are so into QR codes.
Yeah.
Like click it and then they got it, so that would save us a lot actually.
Yeah, and there is one on the resource guide on the very front. And then there was a, what do you call it? A placard done with it. But sometimes I think people have something that they put and tuck away,
Yeah.
in their stuff. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just a small denomination.
And then the resource guide, the actual printout can be for people who maybe want one because
Yes.
a lot of people just use technology now.
Yes.
They don't even use
Rather than
paper.
stuffing every bag with it, it's just available
Yeah.
at any event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then under the women's advocacy, that's where I placed our women of excellence, because it just made sense. And so we have 1,000 there. I would like to also add into that community roundtables. So in last year's, it said they would like to do more community roundtables. I would like to do one each quarter. And that one is based upon what we're already working on. So reproductive health is a big thing that we've been supporting in the last, several years. So the first one in January can be on reproductive health, that round table. And then we can decide on what the other 3 will be during the year. And this is, for me, this is a build up to the women's conference, and getting us there so that community is already women and those who are interested in those topics are already helping us drive that conference forward and what we think is important or what they believe the community believes is important for us to represent in that conference. So I have $800 for that. So $200 for each one, which probably is very, very high because we're probably just going to do drinks or snacks and things. So that's probably not going to be, but I've budgeted $800 for that. And then I do want to, I asked member Espanola the last meeting, her thoughts on bringing a smaller organized wellness and health forum to Molokai. I think this is very, very important that we not be kind of Maui centric. We need to start expanding because Maui County is Lanai as well. So if we can do this coming year, I would like to do that. That's also in the expenses of the committee travel. That's in addition to what was on last year, and then the attendance to the national conference. I believe we weren't able to go last year because I was just put into office. So that should be on there as well. And then there's one more, the Legislative Women's Caucus. That's actually in January. So all together, the expenses would be like 3,000.
And Chair, that's under, because community roundtables, so you had women's advocacy,
Yeah.
which is the event, the March event, Women of Excellence.
Yes, Women of Excellence.
And then under community roundtables, I have it as one per quarter.
Yes.
And then you also have wellness forum under that same.
So the
community
wellness.
round is-
Oh, yes, the Molokai Wellness Forum.
Yes. That's under community.
I guess it could be. I guess that could be counted as a roundtable, huh? But we're on Molokai.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
So that all comes under women's advocacy.
Yes, under women's advocacy. Okay, that's perfect because then that takes up one of the roundtables.
The
That-
Molokai will take up one of the roundtables.
Yeah, that would be easier, right? Because then it's already budgeted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Remember Smith, Davy Smith?
Yeah, what about the educational programs?
Yeah, that's
Are we
coming
keeping
next.
them-
That's the next.
Okay.
Next one. Yeah. Okay. Corey, did you have something else?
No, I was I'm editing as I go here, this
Oh, okay.
document.
So the national attendance at the National Commission Conference,
Got
and
it.
then the Oahu Legislative Women's Caucus, I think is in January, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. So that would be part of the women's advocacy services.
So I think we had originally 2,500
Yeah.
in there. Is that still, like, we had $1,000 for the city travel, and then another $2 for,
Three.
are we bumping this up to 3?
We're bumping it up to 3. So it's
Okay.
like the Women of Excellence is 1,000, the attendance at the national conference is 1,000. The roundtables is 800. And then the legislative caucus is like 200. So that's like 3,000.
Well, yes, and you do have travel for that, so we'll
Oh, I
look at
do?
that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's on Oahu,
Yeah. Okay.
so we'll look at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any discussion around the women's advocacy services? Okay, so just remember Espanola, we're gonna have to chart it out, what that's gonna look like. Okay, like
All right.
dates, yeah. So if we can have that sooner than later, that'd be great, and be ready for January, just give me dates and that would be very good. Thank you.
So we're looking at doing it in January?
No, just make sure
Get it
that we
ready.
get it ready so that,
Okay.
and what that looks like to you, because unless anybody else has come from Molokai and in this group and would like to work with her on that, then
So you want January, sorry, Chair and Member Espinola, January is Molokai?
no, just for her to tell us when.
Got it. Thank
And that's
you.
gonna, yeah, and have a plan for us because we need months, right, in advance to make these things happen. Just FYI, I didn't know these things when I decided, oh, let's have a conference.
Yes. So Chair, what the agenda, program agenda, did you have a draft on what might want to be, or that's something that we got to go figure?
Yeah, so the topic is on the women's health and wellness on Molokai. That's the forum. Yeah.
Okay.
So what and when?
Okay.
We know the what, we need the when and where.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
all right.
Chair, Member
Yes.
Espinola will term out at the end of at the end of March as an FYI.
OMG. So it has to be.
Yeah. So let's before that.
So she doesn't mean that she can't be involved as a
Oh, you can
volunteer.
plan it all and then we can go there.
Exactly.
Then I have an
Exactly.
extra hand. I can bring an extra because you won't be a member anymore.
Yes.
So we can. Okay.
So we're gonna do it before March then. That's
Not
a good game.
necessarily because you'll already be if you've planned it out, then you can actually help us because then you're not a member and then I can talk to you all the time
Oh,
with
awesome.
one other person, right?
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, if you have a foot soldier.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good. Okay.
So have a plan in January,
Okay. Gotcha.
including who's
Will do.
involved,
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Will do.
All right. The next one is educational programs, and I have it I'm calling it creating a succession plan. We've heard from a young woman at Lahaina Luna. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is women in conservation. It's something that is not talked about very often. We have a navigator on Maui, a canoe navigator in Kalababayan, Tanaka. She's the navigator of Hui. What is our Lahaina Ba'a? I can't think of it right now. We also
It's
have
Mo'okiha.
Mo'okiha, duh. Yes, we have Mo'okiha, and she is training young women to be navigators. And then the other is we have women on the mountain that are up in the mountain, preserving our water sources that many people do not know. And then we also have farmers, women farmers on Maui that are doing like really kind of kick butt stuff. So that's all STEM, right? That's STEM, that's science. We're so fortunate to have them. But anyway, that's just my passion. And it's for me, like being able to support these programs, as it was written, it's providing donations for lunches and offering other assistance to organizations that provide programs for enrichment of these important and often untapped areas of education for females. So within DLNR, I also know that there's women in the ocean that are training others to be caretakers of our ocean systems as well. So like I said, these are areas that are very rarely highlighted. And I would like to make sure that we have $1,000. I'm not raising it there because I don't even know what we've done in the past, like year or 2 years. Maybe you guys know. How have we supported, these these organizations. I'm not sure. Does anybody have historical knowledge of groups that we've supported?
Chair, just in my tenure, we have not advocated for any of these. The money hasn't been spent.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think this is part of where we can start bringing it out in our roundtables. And I mean, it would be a small gift, but it might be helpful to them to, supply a lunch or whatever. Okay. So that's my proposal. So in all, I think we have 6, 9, 10,000. So we're increasing our ask to mayor.
And the total would be 10,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just will need to clean this up.
Okay.
And if the members,
Does everybody, any discussion around this?
Sounds good, Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so may I have a motion? Do we need a motion, Corey, to?
yes, Chair.
Okay.
And Chair, maybe it's two motions. One is to accept and approve the recommended budget. And then the second part is once I complete this draft would be for the chair to review and again, authority to send to the mayor in the budget.
Okay, so the first motion I need is to approve this recommendation for 24, 25, or is it 20?
It's for
25,
it's fiscal year 26.
20 fiscal year 26. Okay.
Make a motion to accept and approve the recommended budget for 26 by Chair Davidson.
Thank you. Do we
Second,
have okay, second by Member Davy Smith. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
aye.
Okay, yeah, that's a unanimous vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Yay! That was pretty fast. Like the last time. Like the
Yeah, let's do this.
Yes, let's just do this. Okay. And then the second motion was to have once it is wait, sorry, Corey, that we will present it to mayor after it has been revised.
Yes.
So I need a motion for that.
Motion to send after chair
Motion to
has.
send after I have reviewed.
Okay, so I make a motion for Chair to, what was that, review? The authority
Send after I've
to send,
reviewed.
after review, the authority to send send to the mayor,
To new budget to mayor.
new budget. I'm reading my paper, whatever,
It's okay.
the new budget. Okay,
And the
I
second,
second.
okay. Wonderful. And that was seconded by Member Baltazar. All right. And all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay, seeing we have a unanimous vote. Thank you
Great.
very much for aye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So that we're off, we're done with our budget. Let's see. I see Women's Health Conference. So our 4B, if there's, I don't see anyone asked for testimony, but I will ask again. Is there any testimony on 4B? Corey, do you have that from the last time that I think I sent it right away? I hope I did.
Chair, I apologize. I did not queue that up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But let me just, I can go into a folder if you want.
Okay.
Stuff. Actually, when did you send that?
I sent it like almost after our last meeting.
Right. Okay, so let me get to,
Yeah.
you have a whole new way of
Yeah,
working.
you guys got new emails, huh?
I have new email. So yeah, I did mine. So members, I usually don't send from, that is my personal that I sent it from. And it was just because the Committee on the Status of Women had not been uploaded into my folder. So I am now. So this is from, I can delete, search. It's back to October. Sorry, Chair. That was our
It's okay.
surveys. So you had multiple surveys, Chair. Did you want me to
Yeah.
bring them up?
Sure. I mean,
Or do you just want me to dispense it?
you know what?
disperse
Just,
it?
just send it.
Okay, I'm going to send it to the members. And if you don't mind, Chair, maybe this is only deferred for discussion and
Yeah.
questions that they may have for the
And you know what? We
next.
can defer to January because I
Okay.
think we're going to be working on a new conference for July.
Okay,
And so then we have understanding of what people are thinking about. So, but everyone is being sent that, and it was, I think there was honest feedback there, and people were, I mean, ultimately the summary is people were genuinely excited about having this opportunity and having people from the outside also. Yeah.
Excuse me.
We're excited. So, yeah, so we'll defer that to January and you guys can look at it as you're receiving it now.
thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And 4C, we're also going to defer that as well. When Yukari comes back, then she can give us a refresher on the sunshine law. Our new business, 5A, 5A, and that is it. Yeah, 5A. If there's any testimony that we need to hear on our discussion on hosting the Women of Excellence 2025, please let us know. Seeing none or hearing none, we'll go on to our discussion. Okay, so hosting this Women of Excellence, did we plan on an actual day?
It's usually held in, I think, March, Chair?
Yeah, we have March, but did we actually plan on a day? So that would be the first thing. We know it's March. We have a timeline that you kind of gave us from the last one.
Right. I don't think a date was, but the March meeting would be on the 18th.
Oh, it would be our March meeting.
It could yes, it could coincide, but let me just review that.
Okay.
So it aligns very closely with the timeline previously. Well, I set a March 27th, 2025 on the checklist.
Right.
So that we could move the meeting for that month to the 27th.
Okay.
Because I think it had to do with the day of the week that was
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. So, but March 25th is a Tuesday.
Yes, so we said that the 27th.
Okay, so March 25th will be the date. We want to try to keep that. So that will be our meeting date. And did everyone see the timeline? It's the Women of Excellence Award checklist. This is a really good checklist because at least it gives us a timeline of in January. Wait, I better go back to our agenda because in January we would be drafting the ad to wherever we're going to draft the ad to. This one says Maui Mama Magazine. I think we should.
We had talked about Maui News.
Yeah,
and online.
I also think we should draft it to Maui Now, because I think a lot of people read. I don't know. Do you guys read Maui Now? Because Maui News is only once a week now.
Yes.
Yeah. And then web page updated. So is this the county web page?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the beginning of January would be the drafting of the ad for the Maui News webpage update. I have us scheduled for January 21st as a meeting date.
Okay.
So that would be the deadline, and then review it on the 21st, along with the press release.
Mm-hmm.
And then the press release would go out 2 days later on the 23rd.
Corey, does the comms team do that? Or do
They
we do
can.
that?
They can, and they can work with you, Chair, on any of the messaging.
Yeah,
And they'll
Okay.
send it out. We just tell them what, and I'll put you as the point of contact.
Okay.
Or if there's somebody else that wants to take the, working with them on the drafting of this. But yes, so this is the comm team.
Okay. That would be good because I mean they're already locked in.
So it probably would be good if you look at this. That
Anybody, please jump in.
Yeah, please do.
This is
This
the
would all
mayor's
get
comms
approved.
team.
All your
There's,
work would
like
get
a lot
approved.
of them. So I'm like, let's use the resources that are right there. And I don't know if what you guys feel about this, but this is a really kind of cool topic, right? This is for me, this is like moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations. And I'm sure you can all think of at least one person that has inspired you to do what you do now. I think that would be easy to do. We have so many amazing women in our county. So, I think it would be easy to do. So what I was thinking, besides the comms team, I don't know how many of you are on Facebook or how many are on Twitter or whatever social media, is actually going on there and can we do that, Corey? Can we actually go on our own social media and say there's a Women in Excellence? Like,
Absolutely, Chair.
Okay, cool.
The more magnifying, megaphone of the event,
Yeah.
the greater. So what you can do, which is a great best practice, is to take the link from the press release, post it on your own, put your own sentiments, and you're a member of this board. You can, or committee. You can say, as a member, I'm really excited. Come on, submit your applications.
Yeah, because I think what happens is like there's women kind of underground who like only the people who they interact with, and they might be interacting with hundreds and hundreds of people, but nobody really knows them because they're kind of like I would like to make sure that we have a good vetting of, so it's actually hard for us to choose. Sorry, it's just my own. There's just so many people who do amazing things, especially, since the fires. People have been really amazing. Okay, so that's great. And then February, we have deadline for nomination submissions. Do you know if we can do that digitally? I know you have a form here for that. It looks like it's a form fillable, but whenever I do these things and it's like not form fillable, then it's like,
So, Chair, I just aggregated everything that we had. I've not touched this in any way. So, yes, if anybody has time on the form fillable, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, you can, the link that you sent, you are able to type it out in there.
Okay. Who said that?
A member,
Heidi.
Oh, okay. I didn't, sorry. I had the form over. Okay. All right. Do you have PDF like form fillable on your computer? You do? Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, some people don't, like me. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I get a little fussy on these kinds of things. But okay, that's great. That's great. Okay.
so what I'm hearing from Member Baltasar is just go back and check, and maybe a test.
Yeah.
You ran a test on it and it worked.
Okay. Yeah, she's saying yes.
Okay.
Okay. Righty. So we have four categories, everybody. Just, if you haven't looked at that form yet, just look at it for me. Okay.
Then there's another document, which was a press release.
Correct. I see that.
And that can be
We can just,
revised.
yeah, revised. Okay. Yeah. We go back to
By the
checklist.
January meeting.
Yes, by the January meeting. Okay, take note of that, everyone. By the January meeting, we want to make sure that just look at it if you think there's things we need to add to it. Deadline for some nomination submissions is February. Subcommittee. Okay, subcommittee. So we need to form a subcommittee. Is this a TIG or what is this?
I would defer to the deputy, but it says subcommittee, but I think it would be a TIG technically.
Okay.
Hi there, and sorry, if it's a subcommittee would be, something that you guys, if you're going to be together outside of the meeting, then yeah, it's a TIG. But if it's something you discuss within the meeting, it could be a subcommittee. Does that make sense?
You discuss inside the meeting is a subcommittee.
So that can be discussed, deputy, within the meeting? As a sub
Yeah, sure. Subcommittees can exist, but TIGs are, if you're going to meet outside of the meeting where it's, sorry, why don't you guys tell me what you're,
Oh no, you tell
what you're
us because
anticipating.
we're like.
So
like,
what do you
tell
what do you
us.
want to do on this subcommittee or what, or what?
What we want to do is we want to be able to plan and, well, this subcommittee is to review the nomination forms.
And you don't want to do that in
So-
open session. You want to meet outside in a group.
Well, it's sometimes easier to do it, but
Okay, well then that's totally fine too. It's just a little bit more of a process because, at this meeting you can form the TIG. Then the information has to be presented, and then on that third meeting, that's when you guys can actually.
oh yeah, we don't want to do a TIG because it takes too long, right?
Yeah, it takes 3 meetings.
Yeah, too long.
Deputy, does the subcommittee go into an executive session to review the different forms?
It could, depending on the nature of the forms.
Okay.
So,
because I don't think they want to release who they all are. I don't know.
So, and I would wait. I guess I would defer to you, Kari, on that for when she gets back, and she's more familiar with the, what you folks do and what's included on those forms. Because I do not know.
That is something deferred to January.
Okay.
Kari.
Yeah, because
it's one item.
Like, I mean, do you all want to serve on this subcommittee to determine? Because right now we don't have 2 members that are here. So, I mean.
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering is like the subcommittee, is it us or is it other people that we gather up to be the subcommittee?
It would be us because it's our function. It's our event. So it's kind of bizarre, right? That we wouldn't all just do it, right? Can we say that we're gonna all read? I don't know. Are we?
Yeah,
allowed
I think with so few people. Yeah, with few people, and a subcommittee may not be necessary. You can all just do it together.
And
but
also, yeah, and I think isn't it like when certain committees they are interviewing prospective people to be on the board or something? They do go into executive session, so the rest of people can't hear. So I don't know why we couldn't do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because it just came up at our attorney meeting yesterday, that we have been giving sort of mixed advice on this in terms of whether boards and commissions can go into executive session to discuss hiring or evaluation. For a long time, the answer was yes, but recent advancements at the OIP, those are the folks that are kind of like in charge of enforcing the Sunshine Law, have been going in a different direction and asking that those things be public unless there's a very more specific reason. If you're hiring someone or disciplining someone and it's something like personally embarrassing, then that could be an example, or certainly to seek legal advice. There are limited ways to use executive session, but OIP recently has been leaning towards keeping things more open. So that's kind of the advice we're giving, unless there's a very good and specific reason to go into executive.
So if we have people who should not, we don't want to reveal who's going to be nominated.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately the element of surprise would probably not be, or the an exception under Sunshine Law.
Oh my!
Because
I have a question. Are you able? How if we're all together, if you have the whole group together, then you have to either create a TIG or something. But if let's say there's only a couple of people reviewing the nominations and then present it is that something that we could do rather than
not without a TIG. Yeah, can't meet outside of the meeting.
Yeah.
So even two people can't meet outside just to review. No,
has to be a
board
TIG.
business and not to
a TIG. Okay.
And it takes 3 meetings to approve anything.
Yes, it's very cumbersome.
we can't do it right away. Yeah. Yeah. So the TIG is not even an option because otherwise we wouldn't get it
hopefully,
done.
yeah, hopefully if when your card comes back, we can ask her if we can go into executive session so that people don't hear who's being nominated and all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let her give you the final advice on that since I'm just standing in today.
Well, the other thing too is, let's just say they say, okay, no, you can't go in executive session. Then would we be able to kind of like assign the nominees like person A, person B, you know what I mean? To kind of make it so that it's not recognizable to people, the public that's listening.
I think that that's an interesting idea actually, because the concern, the reasoning behind the Sunshine Law is that the public may want to, or how you guys reach who you decide to nominate may be a matter of public interest. People go, why did she get in and not her? Oh, they went into executive session. Like, oh, is that because, then they can get ideas about what happened behind closed doors? The idea is just to keep everything as public as possible. I think discussing like who you're going to choose for this would probably be pretty squarely should be in public and not an executive session. But assigning like letters so that later on you could reveal the letters, which names correspond to the letters, would still allow the public to view that meeting and understand why you made your decision. But you wouldn't reveal the names corresponding letters until after the person was given it. It's an interesting idea. It's not something I've heard before, but yeah. That's just
creativity.
Yeah. I'll let the card sort of give you the final word on that.
Yeah.
You'd have to go into executive session in order to assign those names to, a corresponding letter or number.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's just a little.
Or you could even I don't know. You can even as the nominator, as the nominations come in, you could just assign it a number. I don't know, and then just go. But it would depend on a lot of things. Who's getting the nominations first, and so yeah, I guess it would be something to think about. But I think probably could be a way we could kind of make it a little bit more anonymous and then reveal later who the nominees are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I ran my scholarship program, when we sent it out to the readers, we would take out their names and we would assign numbers so that the reader would not know who they're reading. They would just know their grade and their grade. So
yeah, it's a good idea for sure. I think it's probably something that both I and likely Yukari would want to give the OIP a call on and see what they think about it. Because again, I don't think it's been done before, but it's definitely
because that would be really helpful if you could just stick it in the things to do, because once January comes, we don't want to get stuck in February. I mean, we have a few months. So if we can get that settled, that would be very helpful. Cause, that doesn't how do we surprise people then? We can't surprise people if people are I heard you're getting an award. I mean, this is Maui.
Yeah. I can put it on my to-do list for sure.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
And I'll send an email to Cardi to keep her in the loop.
Okay, wonderful. So,
can we discuss it via email and get that information and then send out the letter saying you were nominated?
I think, I mean, I guess I don't.
So we do the discussion via email, and then when we actually have the meeting on it, and then we say these are the nominations.
Yeah, to seek legal advice, you all could be included on one email. Oftentimes, we will communicate to the secretary, who will then email it out to all board members. We're talking about meeting materials and stuff. but I guess I'm just not really familiar with the nomination, process in terms of the timing of that, and if the letters need to be sent out prior to the next meeting, or what exactly. If your question is about timing,
Mm.
Wow.
I'm thinking that we can do it via email, do all of that, one email. It's like the meeting via email. And then we make that official announcement.
having an email communication is just as it's equally governed by the Sunshine Law, as all meeting outside of a public meeting. So, meaning it has to have a very specific exception, like seeking legal advice or discussing a personnel issue that would be personally embarrassing. There's a few exceptions, like those are the two that I mentioned earlier. But no, email chains with all of you are they're like the same as you all meeting at a coffee shop and talking in terms of the Sunshine Law.
Okay.
Good try. Hispaniola.
Yeah, you guys are creative. I like it. Making me think.
Oh my. Oh my.
So, Chair, if you don't, I was just reviewing some. So, what they've done in the past, actually, right? They select who the individual is ahead of time. It goes out in a letter at the event.
Yeah.
You can. I remember Peely saying you can, if you want to, acknowledge all the other applicants if you want or not. That's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But we would know in advance who the Women of the Year for the specific categories would be. And then letters go to the mayor, council chair, council members. That could all be one. Right now they have it all individual, but you can send it to all of them under one. We would send to our state or Senate member, the governor, and then we would also could now send it to our state executive director, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that I'm just going through the letters that have been sent in the previous representatives for the different districts, locally. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, I think the award ceremony itself will be amazing. And I don't, what do we give them? A bowl? What do we give them? Like, I guess that can all be figured out in January.
Yeah, let me just go back to those notes from when everyone invited, just not the awardee.
Right.
They get a proclamation, a certificate, and then I think they did get some kind of makana, an engraved wooden bowl or a plate. Yeah.
Okay.
It's under those budgeted items.
Okay. If anybody has ideas of what we should be getting, I mean, I think it'd be really beautiful to be able to give something creative. I mean, these are what is it? Moving forward together, women educating, inspiring generations. That's like a big deal. Like, that's a big deal.
You want to narrow it down, you're saying?
No.
That's a lot.
No, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it's just, I'm just saying that what we give them should be meaningful to us.
And then Chair, we can, you could have, so you have the nominees, and then you would have a keynote speaker as part of the agenda. It could be one of those individuals if the body decides, or if there's somebody else that wants to address on this topic that is just a dignitary or Anybody
Okay,
that is to be determined by this group.
okay. Okay, so that's something to think about too.
So I've highlighted the McCuna, the keynote speaker, discussion of the subcommittee at January meeting, review of a draft ad, review the press release, and then those would go out and the
Okay.
forms.
So that's January.
That's January meeting.
Okay. But I would have to meet with the comms team before then.
Before, in January, Chair.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because they like things 2 weeks in advance, I hear.
So you could submit it, if you want, you can submit it in December and then schedule a time with them. You can work off of what we already have in the samples, if that's what you want to do,
Okay,
embellish upon it, revise it. But this could be done in December.
okay,
It's notifying, we'll notify them that this is coming up.
okay. All right. Okay, I think we've covered that topic completely. Have we covered that topic completely?
Yes, Chair.
Okay,
I think
yay!
so.
We have 13 minutes left. Okay, let's see. Event assignments. Who wants to? Oh no, we're not doing TIGs. No, we're not doing TIGs. So for under 5A2, it says event assignments. Formation of, we're not doing a TIG. And
So
yeah,
you can just say we're not doing that. And so
we're not doing that TIG.
not just to remove that.
Yeah, I'm removing that. Okay, under 5, so moving on to 5B, discuss topics and issues impacting women within Maui County. So I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I think the reproductive health has been, as I said, very intensive lately. I actually bumped into a grandfather who was my age, who was coming back from Oahu, whose daughter was perfectly fine and had to be flown to Oahu because there was a nurses' strike. And so she had to have her baby on Oahu. So women on Molokai and women on Lanai are used to this. And they have to fly out a month before. And he told me in the line at the airport, he said, Malia, he goes, there's still only eight rooms in the maternity ward at the hospital. And I never really thought about it until he said it. And then everything we've been listening to all came flooding back. How our midwives have been saying that there's real serious challenges that pregnant moms are facing here. So I think that being that topic, just checking and
The Chair, we're having some difficulty hearing you.
oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Better.
On
No.
her on 5B topics. Oh. Issues.
I'm sorry, Chair, we can't hear you. We can't
I'm
decipher what you're saying.
gonna call in.
Okay.
All in. How interesting. Start talking. Okay. So, okay. The chat. Type in the call in number.
Thank you, Chair. That's
Can you type in the call? Oh, got it. Okay. One 650-479-3208. Okay. Two 661-446-2242.
We can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now?
I can hear you better now.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna still dial in 9580 pound. Oh, it's saying it's not a valid ID.
the phone number.
The
I mean,
919.
Yeah, it corrected itself.
Oh, it did?
I can hear you better now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
we're good. We see and hear you.
Okay, thank you. I was talking about the different topics. Are there other topics that you want to
I do.
have? Yes?
I do. So we've focused how many years on and that women's health as far as pregnancy and
Mhm.
that. I think there is a growing concern maybe for self-care. Self-care, self-esteem, body modification, having women understand their physical, emotional, mental wellness as well. And how can we focus on that? So getting women to a place of self-esteem. So I think that we haven't tapped into that at all. So maybe we'd like to. I've written down some suggestions as far as for the conference that I'd like to see here on Molokai. Loving yourself, loving your body, and not there's so many women modifying their body. It's not I don't like to say it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but then that's up for discussion. As far as how women feel about it. So I like to see self-care, self-esteem, and what we can do, in that for that topic.
Okay. Thank you. That's actually goes along with our post-fire mental health and well-being as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of people who are struggling with that as well. So, and that can be like across the board. People anywhere could identify with that self-care. Thank you.
And Chair,
Any other ideas?
Chair, there might be just, up for discussion.
Okay.
Some of the other boards and commissions, what they do is they put a topic on the
On the
calendar,
agenda?
on the agenda, and they invite someone to speak to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't require an action, but it's more about, it's informational.
Okay.
And then we can seek those out rather than there
That's
having to be some
fabulous.
action behind it.
Okay, that's fabulous. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? I like that idea. Every month we have
Presenter,
somebody who,
you have a presenter.
yeah. And then when the agenda goes out, then we can actually maybe more people will attend this meeting. I don't know.
And what you can do is you can just put this list together, whatever your list is, and then decide on a monthly basis so if you come to January and you've got this list and you say, listen, I would like to hear from somebody on the STEM, whether it's the director of MEDB, but, and then invite the next month to come, or 2 months in advance to set the calendar. And that way we've done that with, as I said, with another board, that there was a set of topics and then when they would actually come and present at your meetings.
Oh,
For
fantastic.
example, at your March meeting, you wouldn't, you could be someone from the community that talks about women and education as it relates to the Women of Excellence and the topic next year.
Yes. Does everybody like that idea?
Mhm.
I like that idea.
Also, Chair, yeah, that, mothers who are dealing with their daughter's teen pregnancy, how they respond to how they're addressing that, what they can do. Again, informational, but, we should see how we can help them, women who are dealing with their daughters who are teen pregnancy.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right.
Are there any
We have
other,
3 minutes.
any other from the other members? No? Baltazar, Davy Smith. If you think of anything, send it along and we'll compile it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say access to healthcare, women's
Access
to healthcare.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
La'au lapa'au. Doing our cultural. You have the Western medicine, but
Mhm.
how many of us know la'au lapa'au, something that's in our backyard? We can teach women that.
Mhm.
I don't know. Everybody's going back to the basics now and going back in their backyard and getting healing instead of paying for all this medical. So something that women can learn. Yeah. So I think speaking of that, cultural
Beautiful.
medicine.
Beautiful. I would say along those lines that we are what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have somebody who actually has farmer. A lot of the women farmers are in that topic. Yeah, we are what we eat, and for health. Yeah. So I know a few women farmers. That would be awesome. Okay. So we can come up with other ones too in January. Our next, do we get to meet at all, like for the holidays? But we'd have to have an official meeting, huh?
We can't.
Yeah, I don't have a location for you. I'm sorry, members.
Oh,
Very
I do.
tight.
I have the conference room at One Main, but I don't know. Okay.
Sure, if you want to discuss, we can discuss.
Okay. Well, you have 1 minute.
That's what I meant. And another, yeah.
Yeah, Corey has 1 minute. So correspondence,
None, Chair.
and agenda, we set that for January 21st. I mean, we're gonna do pretty much everything that was on here except for, I think we're good.
Yeah, the only
Right.
change, Chair, is on the calendar that was drafted was in March. We originally had the Committee on the Status of Women meeting on the 18th. That is changed to the 27th.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other suggestions or anything else that anybody wants to throw in there? Corey has like less than 30 seconds.
I'm sorry, members.
No. It's all good.
We're good.
She works hard for us. Okay. Thank you all thank you, Corey.
Aloha.
I wanna connect with you at some point, all of you, if we can. It's weird.
You guys can see each other outside of meeting, just can't discuss any board business.
Oh, so if we have like a party, we can have a party?
Yes, just avoid all.
Okay, we're gonna have a
ever have been in
party.
front of the board or ever reasonably could be. So
Okay.
Nothing about women. No, I'm just kidding.
You can
Okay.
gather, you can talk about anything other than this
Other
committee.
than, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. How's life?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all.
Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Happy
Thank
holidays.
you. Good job,
Holidays.
Thank you
Leah.
for your work,
It's the whole
everyone.
season. Bye.
Bye.